I'd gone to have a shower and I felt an earthquake, and I've never felt an earthquake before. Very frightening, I have to say. Within 12 minutes, the tsunami hit. I heard a roar about 10 seconds before I looked up to see the roof cave in and water just splashing through. Took a deep breath, spent about a minute and a half fighting off debris. Then my brain said to me, we're going to die. I literally crossed my arms across my chest like this, and then nothing, absolutely nothing. At some point later on, my head popped out of the water. Not coughing, not spluttering, not gasping for breath, just like it was a normal day. I looked up, sky was clear. I thought nothing had happened for a second, then I realised, no, something very serious had happened. Wondered why my left leg wouldn't do what I asked it to do. So next to me, luckily, was a fridge door. Float beautifully, they do. Pulled myself up on the fridge door and had a look at my leg, and it was open right across here. This half was open like that. I could see down on the inside of my leg, and what I thought was a bone had been severed, in fact was a tendon. I got to the top, asked the local farmer if I could have some water to rinse my leg out. And I spent the rest of the day laying on fibro-cement sheets directly across from a beautiful old English gentleman and his wife who had just lost their 2-year-old boy. Driving past at that point in time was the youngest member of the Australian consulate in Samoa. She immediately loaded myself into the utes, and that was the last kilometre trip to the hospital. They advised me not to have any major surgery on my leg, that I would be flown back to Australia and to wait till I got to Australia. They needed to cut more and more muscle and tissue out of my leg as the septicemia had damaged it and continued to move through my body. From what I've been told, the first 3 days was a balance between life and death, where it really was that critical. My children were told to prepare for the worst. And then the morning of the 6th day, they brought me out of the coma. They said I'd be lucky to walk without a cane. I definitely would not be able to walk without a limp, and the chances of me being able to go back to a gym and train completely as I do now were very, very slim. And that provided a certain level of motivation to show the bastards they were wrong, to be totally honest. I was told whatever bend I had in my leg by June 30, 2010 or thereabouts was what I would have for the rest of my life. So I had 3 goals: to be able to bend my knee as far and as good as my other leg could, to be able to squat over 100 kilos again, and to be able to walk normally without a limp. Physio people have suggested that I go to a gym and start doing some exercises to try and get some strength in my knee.
Rob couldn't walk up one of these stairs, let alone jump up and down on 6 of them. So walking up and down 5 centimetres and back down, he could not do. I did have to search high and low for things to progress and get him to where he wanted to. So we kept trying new things, and that was the only way to go with it. So it was trial and error with a lot of things, systematically working through where we needed to go. It was month by month by month. Rope swings, kettlebell work, we need to get you on the floor, we need to use power bands, we need to use all these different types of equipment to get where he wanted to be.
He and I worked as a team over a long period of time to get the leg to where it is today. The first 8 months were critical. I had to get better than 120 degrees, that was my goal.
Since training Rob 18 months ago, he can now walk up a flight of stairs and down, get in and out of his car. He can now squat 100 kilos and just over. He can now do reverse lunges, forward lunges, lunges with weights.
And the critical part for me and the critical part for Nathan was to get better than 120 degrees bend in my leg by June 30. And we got it to 130. Mate, that was sensational, let me tell you. I went home and quietly celebrated with a beer or 3.
That's a big, big achievement. And that's just the starting point for some of the things he's been able to achieve.
It's been a catalyst for rebuilding my physicality, my leg, but it's also been a catalyst in rebuilding my emotional well-being and my mental well-being.
Rob's journey, still unfinished, is one of the best things I've been a part of as a PT. The pain that he's had to endure is remarkable, and I'm very, very glad I've been a part of it, and that Rob let me be a part of it as well.
If I had to do this alone, I would never have achieved the goal of being able to bend my leg 130 degrees by the time I needed to do it. Absolutely no doubt about that. So without Nathan, that wouldn't have been achieved. And that's the bottom line. Since the tsunami and since working with Nathan, I have a fantastic lease on life. Every day to me is a bonus, to be totally honest. And you have to accept the bad times and you have to make the best of the good times.